Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California, and just want to welcome you to the squad today. Today is Monday, September 29th, 2025. I hope your week is off to a good start. We're going to make a fun fold today. Let me just check and see who's popping on with us today. Hi, Holly. I see that you're here. Thanks for joining me during the live stream. I really appreciate that. And as you guys are popping in, go ahead and say hi in the chat. And so you're welcome to say hello to me, leave me comments, leave me questions while we're on live today, and talk to each other in the chat because we're a creative community here, and I hope everybody likes to interact not only with me but with each other as well. That really makes me happy, and I think it's so much fun. So Holly is here, Kathy is here. Hi, Kathy. Lisa is here. Yay! All right, thanks you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. And if you're watching the replay, I always come back and look at comments. So leave me a comment, question, say hello, tell me where you're watching from. I love reading your comments. Okay, it's a fun fold today, which always makes me really happy. And it's an easy fun fold. We did a fun fold last week. You might remember the card with the perfectly pairs. And it looks like a fancy card, but it's not hard. So that was a really fun one to do. If you've got the perfectly pairs products, then you might want to go back and look at that video because it is a great fun fold. And then a few weeks ago, I did a pair card. So I've got a couple of them out there. So if you're looking for ideas with those products, you can find a couple on my channel here. And it looks like Pat is with us. Hi, Pat. Second timer. Welcome back. I'm glad that you could be here while we're live today. Okay, let's do some measurements and get started. Here's my card base. And today I'm using Gorgeous Grape. It's so vibrant. It's a wonderful color. Makes me happy. It is 4¼ inches wide and 11 inches long. So, it's just half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I've scored it here in the middle at 5.5. So there's already a score line there. We're actually going to cut this in a minute. So I'm just going to set it here. The other pieces I have, and as you can see, I'm using Perennial Lavender, the Perennial Lavender paper carried over from last year. And I'm so happy that it did because the colors in this are just to die for. It's one of my favorite papers ever. This is 4 inches wide and 5¼ inches long. This piece is 2¾ inches wide and 4 inches long. And then this piece is 2¼ inches by 4 inches. I've got a piece of basic white here, and this one is nope, it's not 3 inches, it's 2 7/8. So it's just a skoshi bit skinnier than three, okay, 2 7/8 by 4¼ inches. And then I've got a couple of scraps here, just a scrap of basic white and a scrap of vellum. Oh, let's stamp. How about that? Let's just stamp first. So let me pull this down here. I'm going to be using the You Are Remarkable stamp set, the one that says Friends are flowers in the garden of life. I think that's such a pretty sentiment. And I'm also going to be using these Everyday Arches dies. There's two of them missing. Those are the two we're going to use today. So let's stamp first. And today I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. One of the things that makes this paper so gorgeous is the number of colors that are in it. it just goes on because there's several different shades of purple, a few different shades of green here. So there are a lot of colors that coordinate this, which makes it really fun. That coordinate with this, so it makes it fun. Okay, let's ink up this stamp. And I'm going to make two cards for you today. And I've already made four. So when we're at the end, I'll pull out those other four and show them to you. They're also using the same paper, but different pieces, different patterns. I've got different cardstock bases, so each card is a little bit different. So I'll show those to you at the end. This I'm going to use fresh freesia. There we go. And this stamp, I'll tell you about it in just a second. Let me get this stamped here. So this is not part of the stamp set that I just showed you, the You Are Remarkable stamp set. Can anyone guess? Because it is a current stamp set. This is a current stamp set. Does anybody recognize that stamp? I'm curious. So think about that and put in the comments if you recognize this stamp. And I'll tell you in just a minute where that's from. We need to die cut these two pieces. So let me grab my mini cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to put this back up here so you can think about it and maybe check your stash and see if you can figure out where that stamp is from. Okay, going to use the smaller die with my sentiment here. And let me grab a piece of Post-it note tape. I just want to make sure that does not wiggle. See if we can get it centered. That looks pretty good. Okay, there we are. Oops, there we are. Now, I'm going to use the next largest die on this piece of vellum. So let me grab that. And we'll run that one through. All right, easy peasy. There's our vellum. Now I'm just going to layer these two things together like this. So let me get my Stampin' Seal and put some of that on the back of this. I have found that when working with vellum, I love to use the glue, right? But the glue and the vellum are not best friends. The glue is just kind of wet for the vellum, and if you use very much, oops, if you use very much, it will wrinkle your vellum, which is not what we want. So I have learned that sometimes I just need to use that Stampin' Seal. Okay, any guesses yet on this? No. Have I stumped you? That would be really fun if I stumped you. I know you guys have all kinds, and I bet a lot of you have this stamp set. Okay, let me look through the comments here and see what else is going on. Hi, Jean. How are you? Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Las Vegas. We head over there a couple times a year. It's a good weekend getaway. And Carla, I don't remember if I said hello to you before. So, hi, Carla. Oh, Kathy, do I tape all of my dies down when I use them? Well, you saw I did tape this one with the words just because now I'm trying to die cut so that this is straight and centered within my die cut image. So I do like to hold my dies in place. Also, if I'm cutting out an image where it's important that the die stay still, I will use the post-it note tape. But you probably noticed when I cut this piece of vellum, I did not use one because I just need to make sure that the die stays within the borders of the vellum. And I felt pretty confident that I could do that. So I did not use the post-it note tape when I did that. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, we are going to cut. Let me grab my paper cutter. And we're going to cut this card base. And you might remember it's 11 inches long. We're going to cut 3 inches off. So let me get up here and just measure to 3. There we are. And now let's put some things together. So I'm just going to fold on that score line. Let me grab my bone folder so I can burnish. And we're going to take this large piece of designer series paper and I'm just going to put it here. So let's grab the glue this time. Let's see if I can get this in and centered. Might need to scooch it just a little bit. You know, that's why I love the glue, because I can scooch if I need to. Right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece and I'm going to adhere it right here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing, eyeballing left and right to center it here. And I'm not exactly centering it top and bottom. I'm shifting it up a little bit, and that will become clear why I'm doing that in just a minute. But look how pretty that is with these flowers. I think it goes with that really great. Okay, now this piece is going to go right on here. This paper is so beautiful on both sides that it seems a shame sometimes to cover up the pretty patterns. Okay, now this piece that we cut off, I'm just going to adhere this piece on top of it. These are really easy cards. This is the card layout that I used in my mystery stamping event last week. So if mystery stamping is something that you are interested in, be sure and send me a message. My email address is down in the description below the video. So email me. We do it on Zoom. So you will need to RSVP so that I can send you ahead of time all the measurements for things that you need to cut out and prepare. And then I'll send you the Zoom link. And it's really so much fun because I give you measurements and such, but I do not tell you which paper to use, what colored cardstock to use. So everybody chooses something different. And we get so many great ideas from seeing everybody's card at the end. Really fun. All right, you saw me just adhere this, and I was careful to only put glue here and not all the way around that because I don't want to glue my card closed. Now this is just going to go on the front here. I think I will use some dimensionals. There we go. Get the backs off those. And when I'm finished with this card, I'll come and look at your comments, see if anybody has a question. That looks pretty good. Now, let's add a little bow to this one. So now I've got a question for you. So in the past, I have done this like bunny ears. I've heard it called bunny ears, and then just make the bow like that. But I saw someone do something different the other day, and so I tried it this morning and I was able to do it. Let's see if I can do it again while you're with me here. So we're just going to fold this like this. And maybe some of you guys already do this. I just had not seen this before. And then I'm going to wrap that around. This ribbon is really soft, so it's a little hard to work with. And then I'm just going to pinch that over and send it through the loop here. See if I can get a hold of it. There we go. And then pull. And it just seems like it makes a nice flat bow. So I need to zhuzh it up a little bit here, play with it. So I think I like that method because it does seem like it just makes a nice flat bow, and the loops and the ends seem to go where I want them to go and not getting all twisted around and weird and I don't know, all the things. So let's see, this is going to go on here. I'm still going to work it because I want it to be a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to say I'm satisfied with that. So let's trim this. And let's trim this side. Is that about the same? Looks pretty close. Just cut it. There we go. Don't need that. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm going to put that right there. I need some glue dots. So the glue dot seems a little large to me. I don't want it sticking out behind the knot of my bow. So I'm just going to play with it here a little bit and kind of fold it up on itself, make it a little smaller. And maybe, there we go. Now, just stick that on there and pull it off. I'm going to put it right about there. Cute little accent. And so let me see, do you guys want bling? Do you also want bling? I have some embellishments here. These are the purple fine shimmer gems. They're really pretty. So let me know if we need to add a few of these to this. And I'm going to look at your comments a little bit. You guys have been busy over here. I love it. Okay. Oh, and Sandy, you said that there's a Stampin' Up gathering. Yes. Um, I think it's backstage. I think backstage is maybe in Vegas this year. Well, yes, I see the comments about sometimes it's hard to find people in person near you. So I understand that. And I'm so happy for the internet because we can do things, at least we can do some things long distance. Oh, yes, the saying. Right. Because there are these beautiful flowers, it does seem like that makes sense. Saying that friends are flowers and the garden of life seems to make sense with the paper. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, thanks, Holly. I think it was Holly. Let me look back up here. I think just, yes, Holly, that said pretty bow. So thanks for that vote of confidence there. Uh, and you're not going to let me off the hook, Holly, are you? You're asking about that. And I said I would tell you. So there's the big reveal. There it is. It's from Cheers and Sips. I made a few cards with Cheers and Sips, but I don't think I ever used that stamp. But I used it today. I used it today. It looks like a little piece of lavender. I don't know if that's a little stem of lavender. I don't know if that's really what it is, but I thought it would look cute on this card. Bling, 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 bling. Yes. Okay, we're doing bling. All right. Awesome. Now let me grab my take your pick. And I'm just going to take one of these little ones down here. Put that in there. And then a bigger one down here by the corner. And another little one right there. That gives a little sparkle and shine to our card. Which, that's never a bad idea, huh? There it is. Cute. Very cute. Very easy. But it is a fun fold. All right. Card number one, done. Let's do another. I've already done a little bit of the work, so this will come together pretty quickly. But I've changed things up. So remember, over here, we used Gorgeous Grape for the card base. Here, we're using Lost Lagoon. I love this color, Lost Lagoon. So I've already got my score line here, but I need to cut. So let's do that. We're going to cut 3 inches off the end. Make sure I'm at 3. Yes. There we go. And I've already got my sentiment. I've already die cut here. So let's put some things together. Oh, I did not stamp on here. So let's do that cute little flower again. I need my fresh freesia. Super easy and cute. I like that. Let's fold and burnish. And you see, I just used different pieces from that same designer series paper. And the cards will look really different. So this one, let's put it on the inside. I think I'm going to make some Christmas cards with this template because I want to make several, and I think that I could do them fairly quickly. If I just do kind of some batch cutting, batch die cutting, batch stamping, I think they come together pretty quickly. Okay, let's put this. This is going to go on inside here. All right, trying to center that up. That looks pretty good. And I did want to say, you might remember the measurement, the width of this is 2 7/8. And the width of this, we just cut it off. It's a 3-inch piece, is 3. So you could make this 3 inches, but I just wanted to give a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that this was smaller so it won't peek out. So I thought that would make life a little bit easier. So if I don't get it exactly in the center, there's just a whisper of room there. This one just goes right on the top. I don't know if Stampin' Up, I mean, maybe in the history of Stampin' Up, but I don't know if they've ever made a paper since I've been a demonstrator that has been like has had so many colors kind of in the same family. So we've got lots of purples, lots of greens, and it will coordinate with many different cardstock colors and ink colors. I think that's one of the things I really love about this particular paper. I don't think you could go wrong. Whichever color you chose for your card base and which pieces you choose to show on your card, they all look wonderful. And I didn't talk about this while I did it a while ago. I talked about it after the fact. So I'm just kind of looking to see where this is going to end up and noting how much room I've got here for my adhesive. So I know I don't want to go any lower than this. And then I can just kind of bring that down far enough so I know that it's covering what's underneath. Let's press that and let it sit for a minute, the chance to grab a hold. And while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and layer these two pieces together. A little bit of Stampin' Seal here. There we go. Let's see if I can get this lined up. And this is going to go right here on the front of our card. So let's pop it up with dimensionals again. I'm running out of fingers. So let's do this. Just kind of scatter them down the side there. That one doesn't want to come off. There we go. Whoops. Okay. The other ones I'll show you in a minute here. I use some different sentiments and some different dyes. So they give you some other ideas. Now we got to fix this, make it look cute. So I do have, this is old ribbon, and but it's Lost Lagoon. So I'm sure we want bling because we always want bling. So we'll definitely put some bling on here. But do we also want a little bow up here in the corner like we did with the other card? So give me what you think about that. Do we need a bow in our corner here? Because I can tie one of those up. And then we'll also do this. So do you want bow and gems or just gems? That is the question. Holly says yes. Let's do a bow. All right, Holly. Let's do it. That's good. It gives me more time to practice. It gives me more time to practice this. Maybe someday I'll get really good at it. Okay, I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to wrap that around and then tuck it back up through here. This ribbon is a little bit easier to work with. It's not quite as soft as that fresh freesia ribbon. So we'll just fiddle around with it a little bit here. Try to get my bow a little smaller. Well, that's cute. Yes, I think that's it. Okay, let's cut the tails off. There we are. And then this side, got it. Okay, glue dots. Where did those glue dots to go? Here they are. Now this bow is a little, the knot is a little bit bigger, so I think I don't need to roll that up like I did with the other one. Here we are. Whoops, now it's stuck to me. So that cute bow right there, and some blingy dingy dingy dingy. Let's do it. Let's use these in the middle this time. You can definitely see the embellishments more than you could on the previous card because we're on this like little beige tan background. So they'll definitely pop more than they did on the other card. So here's our card number 2, Lost Lagoon card base. And there's our cute little flower on the inside. So what have we got? We did these two today. I have no idea which one I like better. I like both of them. I like all of them. This paper, I don't think you can make an attractive card with this paper. Okay, let's look at some more with some different colored card bases. So this one, we've used a fresh freesia card base. And I used some little flat pearls that I had in my stash. So I just pulled those out. But there's our cute little flower again. Happy birthday. And I know someone wants to know what that is from. So that stamp is from this stamp set, the beautiful balloons. It's that happy birthday. I think I'll hold on this to this stamp set forever because I really like I really like that happy birthday. I like the size, I like the way it looks. So I've used it a lot. Okay, let's look at another one. This one has a Blackberry Bliss card base. And I don't know if you can you see the linen thread. So I looped some linen thread around and put that behind it. I've used the same purple shimmer dots on all of them, but there are three different colors on that sheet. So they vary in color. And our little flower is on the inside. Just a note, that came from the Notes and Totes stamp set. So if you've got that Notes and Totes stamp set, you can find that stamp in there. Got two more. Here's another happy birthday. And this is a pretty peacock card base. Pretty peacock. I love this piece of paper with the little butterflies, and they're so cute. So I did put a bow on this one, and before I adhered this piece onto the flap, I wrapped a little piece of ribbon around it. So that was one thing I did a little bit differently. And I did not put bling on this one. Felt like between this ribbon and the bow that it had enough. And because this paper does have so much pattern in it, cute little butterflies and everything, I felt like it was good just to leave it like that. Okay, let's put that one down here. Trying to get everything in the frame here. One more. This one has a Highland Heather card base. So every one of these has a different color card base. So you can pick your favorites. Hope you'll make some. Thank you, friend. That's actually two stamps, and they are in the Perfectly Pairs stamp set. And then you might remember the Spotlight on Nature dies. That's what that die is from. But we've got the bling again. This one, no ribbon or anything, just bling. Cute flower. There we go. And of course, I've got a couple other ones to show you that are not part of this perennial lavender collection. I think there's enough here that I'll call it a collection. But sometimes we talk about how it would be fun to make a few cards that kind of coordinate together and then give them as a gift. And I think this is a great example of what you could do. And I think some of us are starting to think about holidays and what we're going to give people. And I've never given anyone a card and had them say, oh. So every time I've given people cards, they are excited and very happy. So a little, three or four of these wrapped up together and given as a gift, I think would be the nicest thing. Very nice. All right, I mentioned the painted pears a minute ago, and I have made some cards for you the last couple of months. And so here's a couple with the painted pears. I think the paper is actually called Painterly Pears. So this we recognize. And on the inside, I used one of the stamps from the painted pears. Actually, there's two stamps there. One is the flowers, one is the centers. So that paper is gorgeous as well. This is Secrecy, of course, for the card base. And then this one is Calypso Coral for the card base. And I used, who remembers, Heartfelt Hexagon. So the Heartfelt Hexagon punch, the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set for both the sentiment and this little border around the edge. And you notice I did decide to wrap the ribbon here. This is Darling Duckling ribbon, by the way. And I didn't do a bow, but I just did a knot. But I think that looks cute too. So many choices. One more. I got one more for you. This was my test card that I did before mystery stamping, just to make sure that I liked the card. And so here it is. I think the paper might be called Florals in Bloom. So it's one of our current papers. We've got this again. This time this is Petunia Pop ribbon, just kind of wrapped back and forth underneath. Little stamp there. So, but that's a totally different look. This is Secret C for the card base again. So that's a bunch, right? That's a bunch of different things. I'm just going to set that off to the side. We don't have room for that one. So let me come to your comments and see if anybody has a question or anything. Let's see. Bows. Bows seem to be popular. The Blackberry Bliss. Okay, Lisa. Let's see this one with the Blackberry Bliss. Yeah, it's so dark. It really makes a big contrast between the paper and the cardstock. So that really kind of shows it off. Oh, and Glenda, hi. I don't think I'd said hello to you yet. So thank you for being here. Marlene, I don't think I said hi to you either. Yes, Kathy, I agree. It's gorgeous paper. You can't go wrong with this paper. The paper will carry you through. And Jean, I don't know if I said hello to you. If I didn't, hi. Thanks for being here. So that's all I have. Is that enough? Is that enough? So let me do a housekeeping thing, and then I do want to show you one other little tidbit that I put together earlier today. But real quick, that's where you can find me. That is my website. So if you hop over there, you can read a little bit about me. You can find out what's going on at Stampin' Up! And all the wonderful things, specials, and new things, and all that that's going on. And of course, I have an online store there, so you can shop with me there, which I always appreciate. And also, I have a project page. So this project is on there, and all the projects I do, there's pictures, there's measurements, there's a shopping list, so you can get lots of info there. So that's where you can find me. All right. So I'm thinking about having a video next week with some treats. And I'm sure I'll have something that's Halloween treats, but I've been thinking about something more for the fall, like a fall themed treat. And because I'm obsessed with the whole pear thing, the paper and all of that, I found I went looking for these because I'd had them before. Pear flavored Jelly Bellies. Pear Jelly Bellies. They actually taste like pears. They are really good. I don't know if any of you guys have had them, but delicious. They're wonderful. So I knew I was like, I gotta come up with some kind of little treat for that. So I got in little tiny bags, and there's 12 little jelly beans in there, and gave this little cute decoration. I think this would be so fun if you were having like Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving or one of those kinds of things, to put one of these at each place setting. Adorable. And I've got another idea for something a little bit different with a different treat. So uh, tell me, like, do you want to see treats next week? Because I could show you how I made that one, and we'll do a Halloween one, and then I've got another fall one in mind. So if you're interested in fall treats, let me know, because I think that would be a fun thing to put together for you and get you going on making some yummy little treats for all your friends and family. Okay, I think that is the end. That is it for today. So I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you back here next Monday. Same time, same channel. So thank you again for watching. If you're watching the replay, leave me a comment so I can say hi back to you. And I will see you next week. All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye.